Hello, this is Spencer from Metal Recusants here with Laura and Ross from Electric Citizen. So how are you guys doing?
Great.
Great, happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean,
Super excited.
the first day of the tour with Pentagram, Satan Satyrs, crazy lineup. When I first heard the lineup, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, we're excited.
We've never seen Satan Slayer, so we're like super stoked about that.
Oh, they're fucking great. I saw them earlier, yeah. All right, so first question, going back to sort of the beginnings of the band, is your band name named after the Edgar Broughton band song, Death of Electric Citizen?
It is. It's just such a badass title for a song.
It's true.
We want that
Yeah.
as our band name. And it's a badass song with really cool lyrics.
Yeah. It was like from like 69, I think.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
it's super heavy for 69.
Yeah, he's got kind of a Captain Beyond voice.
Well, no,
yeah.
Captain, not Beyond. Beefheart.
Yes, that's what I meant.
It's a good song to take your name from, definitely. And a few of the songs on your first album, they talk about relationships in kind of unconventional ways, like Burning in Hell and The Trap. Was that an intentional theme in the album, or was that just kind of come out naturally?
I guess it's somewhat intentional, but I'm a big believer in creativity coming kind of from an outside force. So a lot of times when I sit down to write a song, I don't necessarily know what it's going to be about right away. And the melody will kind of form words for me, and then I kind of turn that into whatever kind of is just forming out of the nothingness of the song.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll kind of figure out, what the meaning is after after the fact. But you know, in a way that still makes sense to me. And you know, the one, The Trap, I don't know if that's necessarily
I think I meant to say Shallow Water. That's the one.
Yeah, Shallow Water and Burning in Hell. Yeah, I mean those
Light
are
Years Beyond.
You know, it's a clever way of saying fuck you.
Yeah, basically.
You know,
that's what I got from it. And I think keyboards are kind of a prominent part of the sound in your album. Is there any reason why you don't have a live keyboard player?
We would kill to have our live keyboard player. Unfortunately, Cincinnati is a very small place, and he doesn't really want to tour with us.
Okay.
We've had him for one tour.
Yeah.
And it's sad for us because we've auditioned keyboard players and just nothing works out. And so we're just kind of stuck, you know, without having it. And a lot of people say that. They're like, oh, you had the Mellotron thing and I really like that, or the keys and this, that, and the other. And all I can say is like, I know, I do. I miss it just as much as you do, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, so it's kind of sad. We're still even trying to keep our eyes open for keyboard players.
Just trying to find a live one in
Yeah,
some
our
way.
music scene's so small, you know, and it's like, you got to find someone that knows what you're after too, which is almost the hardest part.
Yeah,
it's like the
that makes sense.
understanding of what you're trying to do, and so yeah, it's an unfortunate thing, man. You know,
we're bringing in a spectacular keyboard player that's actually a music teacher at a big music college in Cincinnati for this next album that we just started recording.
but we're trying not to make it too keys heavy. You
Yeah.
know, because
I get that.
people are gonna be like, "Where's the keys?"
Yeah.
And we're gonna be
He's
like,
not the kind of guy we could even afford to bring
he
on the
plays
road
with like
with us.
Ben's
but
Fold and like
Yeah,
stuff
he
like
plays
that.
with all
So he
kinds
does
of bands.
big stuff.
He's super versatile and incredible at what he does. So you know, at least we can capture that when we're in the studio.
Yeah. Makes
And
sense.
you know, as time goes on, if we can find a keyboard player to join up with, and
We will do that.
yes,
I
we
want
will.
it so bad.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
It just fills the sound out, and keys are such a great instrument. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they fill it out in a different way that a guitar, even another guitar can't.
Yeah, I think it works really well for your music.
Yeah, well, thanks.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this earlier, but I love your antics on stage, kind of Bobby Liebling-esque. Do you think like that was like an intentional influence from him?
It's not, but I love that people see that in me. I take that as a huge compliment because Bobby is a huge inspiration
of
for
course.
me. But nothing really that I do on stage is planned. It changes every night.
Just whatever you feel.
It's just whatever's coming out of me at the moment. And I mean, I prefer it that way because if I had tried to plan it, it just wouldn't come off the same way. And I think that's a lot of the magic that Bobby has in his performance as well.
Definitely.
It's kind of the spontaneity of it. And so yeah, it's just, the common thread is rock and roll, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Brings it out of you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any influences outside of, the obvious Black Sabbath pentagram?
Yeah, I mean, so much is inspiring with music. It could never just be like one genre. Like, I love punk rock a lot. You know what I mean? That's like a huge, like any maybe song that you think is like really raw on the record, it's contributed to like punk rock. You know what I mean? Like, it's a huge. It was kind of like my first like big influence. Like, I changed, and I had like the skin tight jeans on and the studded belt and the leather motorcycle jacket like the Ramones, and like and so punk rock is, I would say, a huge influence on my playing. It's, not just Deep Purple or Rainbow or whatever it is that people think. So that's for me at least.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I love soul singers as well. Like, I admire the hell out of soul singers, and so them as much as Dio or Ozzy or Rush. I mean, there's so many bands that I'm influenced by in the rock world, but so many that are also in different genres. And I love P.P. Arnold, and she used to sing with the Small Faces. She's just got this incredible, soulful, very youthful voice, which is not really anything like what I sound like, but I admire the hell out of her, And Frumpy is another one that I don't know if you've ever heard of Frumpy, but
maybe.
But that's still in the genre. You got to think outside.
That's definitely more on the prog rock side. But she has just this. I mean, her voice is so deep; it almost sounds like you don't know if it's a man or a woman singing at points. And, I mean, she goes up, and you can tell that it is a female. But I just love the soulfulness of her voice as well. So
it's nice to have that variety of influences.
I mean, really anything with like a great melody that I can fucking bang my head to. Like, I'm sign me up.
It really is all about the melodies.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
So there's kind of been this trend of retro occult psych rock, in the past few years. Were you guys influenced by that, or did you kind of come about separately from that?
I would say, man, like with our band, it was formed just for fun. You know what I mean? Because I think I know I personally was like, I just want to have fun. I've kind of given up on like the hope of doing like what I'm doing now. Like I was just like, it's not gonna happen. I just need to have some fun. So this band was like just based out of fun. Like, it's fun to write dark, heavy music. It's just fun. You know what I mean? It's just, and so for me, like I started our band. And I just reached out to friends, people that I'd played with before, and I was like, I just want to do this thing. It's kind of like Pentagram. Let's do Black Sabbath. Let's see if we can try to mix some Blue Cheer and Stooges in there or something like that. And they were like, yeah, dude, fuck it, let's do it. And then if someone would have told me I'd be here on tour with one of my favorite bands who inspired me to play and write this kind of music, I would have been like, no, that's impossible.
That's crazy.
Just fun, really, man. I mean, I know that's not a great, intricate answer, but that's
fair.
That's all it was, man.
I mean, for me, I was really excited to actually find the scene that we're amongst. A lot of it, I had no idea what was going on.
No idea, Like I remember finding Donovan or something like that, and being like, God damn, these guys have been doing it for how long now?
Yeah,
like 10 years or something.
I've learned about a lot of bands that are doing what we're doing and more, just in the last couple of years, and it's really exciting to kind of see it become a genre. Because one thing I always struggle with is like it's always like kind of the throwback or the classic rock or the this, that, and the other. And I'm like, there's enough of it going now in the modern world that it's beyond that. Like to the point where it's yes, we're carrying a torch just like punk rock carries a torch,
Yeah.
But there's so many modern bands doing that it's. I mean, at some point it has to be acknowledged as the thing that's here and now, versus the thing that's trying to be something in the past.
No one ever says that about punk rock, They're never like, oh, punk rock throwback. It's just like, it's the same difference.
Kind
really,
of exists.
Yeah. So I acknowledge that because our music was born in those times, but I see it as something where we're putting our own kind of spin on something that was born in those times, but what we're doing is in the here and now. And, important for the times that we live in. I'm happy to be alive right now and experiencing the world that I'm experiencing now, I don't necessarily want to be like a time traveler.
Yeah.
You know.
Even though tonight it might seem like that's what we're doing.
Yeah. It might feel like that, but, you know, it's so for me, I like thinking of it as more than just the classic rock. You know, this is kind of there's so many bands doing this now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a really cool thing. You know.
It is. Yeah, really getting into it in the past few years. There's like so many great new bands that sound like they just got thrown out of the 60s and 70s.
Yeah. It's like at some point it's going to be its own thing that, you know, that existed in whatever, the 2000s, you know.
Because it'd be sad if it was just a phase.
Yeah, it might be, but hopefully it'll last.
I hope not, but I hope it lasts.
You know, and I mean, the same thing's kind of happening with garage rock right now. I mean, and has been for longer than even what we're experiencing in the heavy rock. You know, where there's a whole resurgence of that as well.
True.
You know, bands that could be from the 60s, but it's different. There's a different enough spin on it that it's its own thing, you know.
Going off on that, Psycho California, you guys played that a few months ago, which is like basically a gathering of all those kind of bands. How was that?
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, to be a part of something where people travel all over the world to come be a part of, you know, it's like you find your hive all in one venue, you know, for a 3-day period, and just fucking enjoy the hell of it.
And everybody was really cool, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Like there wasn't any like fighting or anything like weird like that. Like everybody was like really mellow and respectful, and I really dug that because you know, like you never know how many like you get all these metal people together, you know, it's gonna get wild or something. And it was just everyone was awesome.
It was the weed, right?
It probably.
Absolutely. Our set time was actually at 4:20.
Oh wow, that's funny.
I was like, that's really perfect. But yeah, it was great, you know, because stoned people like our music.
Of course. So how's the work coming on your new album?
That's great, man. We actually just spent this weekend laying down just like the foundation of the record. So it's all the songs are recorded with bass, drums, and 2 guitars. Because I played rhythm and like the other track just to keep it like, you know, nice and filled out. So the only stuff that's left is we're gonna add some keys, guitar solos, of course, and vocals, and then, probably some percussion stuff because we really dig like percussion,
like unconventional.
Yeah,
sort of.
just like whatever, you know. We like that stuff. So So and that was just 3 days, and we knocked all that out. So we're really like happy,
nice,
because we've been on the road so much. So like working on new stuff gets kind of tricky after a while, you know.
Yeah, I
you
bet.
just gotta like. You get home from tour and it's like the only thing you want to do is like take a break and be with your animals and be at home, you know, and like, but it never really works out like that. You kind of have to just like, it just doesn't stop.
It's kind of a chaotic lifestyle.
You get home and it's like, all right, now it's time for the album. And it's like, oh, fuck, break. But it's a good problem.
Yeah,
it's like
true.
It's the only thing I really want to do here with my time is just play music, you know. So
it's a good life. What's the direction on the new album compared to the first one?
Oh, it's different. Yeah, it's more. It's not so dark like as the first one is. It's not so Sabbathy. It's more like rock and rolly, maybe in the vein of like maybe Budgie or something like that.
Oh, Budgie's cool.
You know, I was really inspired actually by Donovan for this record, so I got kind of some.
Donovan sounds a lot like Budgie.
Yeah, and so you know, we got some like kind of like you know some of that kind of stuff going on. But yeah, I think it's going to be different for sure. I mean, I guess I'd have to ask you when it comes out. So what do you think?
Yeah.
Because you know.
Well, I'll probably review it.
Yeah, please do. I mean, it's still heavy. You know, it's not like we didn't.
It's got to be heavy.
Yeah, it has to be heavy. Like it has to have a good melody and it has to be heavy. And you know, for me, like I'm fairly new at doing this. Like I was in a couple of side projects.
Our first record was her first time ever singing on a record, like making a full record.
Wow.
Yeah, and so for me, I hope I'm always in the state of like constantly improving, you know, and pushing myself to try new things and so you know,
gonna be a lot, I think the singing's gonna be a lot better on this record actually. Not that it wasn't good on the first one, but you know, as any musician progresses, you know, with time, you know, so like some of her melodies and her singing, I think is like, you know, it's a lot better, I think. So
yeah, and I've certainly worked really hard to bring that about. We'll see.
Of course, yeah.
We're too close to tell you if it's.
You have no objectivity. Yeah.
Things are coming together really smoothly with the recording, and I feel like that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Like that, we've really got something going with this second album. So, the time will tell.
Yeah. And before I go, I just have to say that I think that Hawk Nightingale is like the closest I think it comes to like the feeling of any other song to Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath. I think you match that vibe. Without you didn't copy it, but I think you match the vibe like really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a really cool song. We did that. We've never done another song that sounded like that. But we always have fun playing it, and we don't bring it out that much.
It's got that great keysing again, like that sound effect.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's just a bummer again not having a key player because it's like a song like that.
Yeah.
It's still, I think it's still cool, you know, when we play it without it, it's still got its like soul to it, but it just misses that cool kind of, you know, that atmospheric kind of, sound effect.
True.
God damn it, you keep playing.
Yeah, I mean, I love the heavy stuff, but you know, it's nice to like just tune it down a bit and just listen to the mellow shit too.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to kind of cool off like that sometimes on an album. So, you know, but we've never written another song like that, so we don't really have a Hawk Nightingale on this next.
Okay,
one, really,
that's fine.
Yeah, we don't have a Hawk Nightingale.
Yeah, I mean, there's some more kind of moody ones, you know, but in a different way.
Slow, there isn't one that's slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I mean, we never really set out to. Okay, let's do another Light Years Beyond, or let's do another Hawk Nightingale. Like that's not how we approach songwriting.
Yeah, that shouldn't be how it is.
It's kind of what comes out, and Ross is usually the one that'll bring a guitar part to practice, and you know we all build off of that, and I'll write the lyrics and the melody off of that.
Cool.
So you know it's super organic how it all comes together, and it's not very planned.
That's
the only planning.
Rock and roll's never planned. Yeah. Well, this is Spencer with Electric Citizen for Metal Recusants, and thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Really interesting stuff.
Thank you so much.